welcome back to Champion Reviews. It's been a minute, it's been a couple weeks, but
it's been a while.
We're back, baby. Today we're going to be talking about Veigar and Kassadin. One was on July 24th of 2009. Wow, that was a couple days ago. And then, August 7th.
For Kassadin. Yep. Yeah, this is, it's an interesting one. I like this pairing because Kassadin is a direct counter to Veigar. Makes it kind of fun. So I think this will be a fun little episode here for you guys.
You think they did that? They made these champions on purpose? Like, oh, Veigar came out and then Kassadin came.
Possibly. I wonder if they start to have enough champions where they could start thinking about countering some of their champions. You know what I mean? I haven't noticed any other like direct counters really in this early matchup. You know what I mean? This early group, I haven't noticed any like matchup counters. I mean, yeah, I'm just like looking at the list. I mean, beyond Teemo blinding Master Yi or something like that, there's not a whole lot of, I mean, obviously you had TF's gold card, Teemo's blind we talked about, Morgana obviously, but like beyond that, there's not a whole lot of counters out there. So I think this one being like a direct counter is pretty rad and pretty unique for the time as well.
Alright, so not much has changed, spoilers, but we're going to talk about it. We'll start with Veigar.
Yeah, Veigar, who was based off of, I can't remember the character's name from Final Fantasy, but he's like a direct rip of a Final Fantasy black mage. I think it'll say it down here in the trivia somewhere, so you keep going, I'll see if I can find it.
We're going to start with his passive, his old 2 iterations of his passives. First one was called Entropy. Veigar steals 20% of target's ability power from each nearby enemy champion. The amount of stolen per target cannot exceed 5 times Veigar's level.
Right.
Interesting. That sounds like that seemed very weak. Unless, obviously, you're going to get into a team fight. But then again, What if the enemy team is all AD?
Right, so, well, to remember, old Veigar, who was based off of Vivi from Final Fantasy, I believe, 9. Old Veigar was an anti-mage, if that makes any sense. Similarly, Kassadin was an anti-mage assassin. Veigar's original kit was based off of, okay, if they're going to pick heavy AP, you pick Veigar, so you get all your bonuses to your damage and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, seeing 20% of the target's ability power is pretty nuts.
I feel like he needed to be picked in such a specific situation. Yes. And that's
kind of like Ramus.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean 20% is a lot.
It is. It is. But let's see, back in that time, who else did we have for AP champions? Yeah, you had
Nivea,
Annie, who you would probably see in the mid lane. Kale, who you could see anywhere. Morgana, who you'd see in the mid lane. She was, for those of you that don't remember this, was a mid laner long before she was a support pick. She was a tried and true mid laner. You had TF, who was also kind of an AP style. Rise. Yeah. So you had enough champions, but you're right, it was a little bit more niche because there was also plenty of champions that just didn't have any AP in their kit.
Yeah, I don't think when we were playing, he for sure did not have that passive. I do remember the second one, Equilibrium. Veigar's mana regen is increased by 1.5% per 1% missing mana. I do remember that one.
I don't even remember that shit. I just remember his current passive was on his old Q.
Right, I remember that. I was stuck to that.
Yeah, and that was back when you had to Q farm. Like, you weren't getting... Well, let's go over his new passive, and then I'll get back into that part. His new passive, Phenomenal Evil Power, which they ripped off of the Q, which is called Baleful Strike. Veigar generates a stack of Phenomenal Evil for each enemy champion hit by his abilities, and 5 stacks whenever he scores an enemy champion takedown. For each stack, Veigar gains 1 ability power. So that was part of the passive that was on the queue, and let me read the queue as it is now. Baleful Strike. Veigar blasts a dark bolt in the target direction that deals magic damage to the first 2 enemies hit. If this kills an enemy, it generates 1 stack of Phenomenal Evil, tripled against large minions and monsters. So that was the other half of that Phenomenal Evil power. You had to basically queue farm to stack that shit up.
So are you telling me I could be playing Veigar jungle right now and getting fat stacks?
Yeah, good luck, dude. He is squishy as all hell. He's got a very small, what's his health pool? His base health pool, where does it show? 575. That's tough for a jungler with no defensive spells. But, I mean, I guess you could if you want to play Predator Veigar in the jungle. I guess I know what you're doing next game.
Yeah, I do. The fact that like you can get stacks now off just hitting champions with abilities is fucking good. Good quality of life.
Right.
I mean, let's look at his cooldowns. 6 seconds level 1 for Q. W, okay, I remember the W was an interesting change. They tied that in with how many stacks you have of your passive.
Yes.
Dark Matter's cooldown is reduced on stacks of Phenomenal Evil power. Great interaction, because I feel like before you would level this up second.
Yep.
Absolutely do not have to do that now. Good scaling. 100% AP. I didn't know it was that insane.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's fucking nuts. It's a strong spell, especially if you have a decent amount of power built up through Phenomenal Evil. I mean, that thing just rips through people. It is hard to hit, though, because it has such a delay. I don't think it's the cast time's a quarter second, but that's just to cast it. But there is a almost 1 1/4 second delay before it falls, and it takes some time. Like, you really have to pair that with the event horizon and then the drop. So usually the spell rotation, and you can kind of mash your keyboard with Veigar because of the event horizon, but you land the E and then you're dropping a W and immediately pressing Q to try to get as many stacks, as much damage as you can. If that doesn't kill them, then you drop the ulti and blow their ass cheeks up.
You remember when the cage was instant?
Yes. Yes,
so yeah,
that was disgusting.
Days, it would instantly pop up instead of it's at a half-second delay.
And I remember too, people that were really good with placing it would just place you into a stun. Like, you didn't have a chance to escape it. They were really good at just like, there you are, and they place you right in that fucking stun.
Right, yeah, right on the edge of the fucking cage.
Yeah, they wouldn't use quick cast. They would use slow cast, so you can point and see exactly where the stun's at. But yeah, that shit was broken.
might be one of the most infuriating abilities in the game. Noted, obviously I knew this, but just reading it makes sense. You cannot jump over that. You have to blink.
Yep.
Or
Flash.
Be unstoppable. Well,
yeah, or be unstoppable. Right. But even if you're unstoppable, I think when you come out of unstoppable, I think you're stunned. Then let me see the say on the details. Displacement, immune enemies will still be stunned but not knocked down. Let's see. Units that negate the stun will still count as passing through the edges. They will become immune to the effects of Event Horizon for the period even after negating them. Okay, so they can't even be stunned if they walked back across it. So volley,
right,
ults
volley,
over the top.
Scion, Shyvana, Ornn.
If they go over it, then they can just walk through that thing, because you can only be affected by it once every 4.5 seconds, which I think is longer than it stays. So
it recognizes that you've passed through the case, kind of like what Threshold too.
Yeah, if you go through the box, you drop it, so then you don't take damage out of it. You just get slowed through the box.
And then Primordial Burst. Always has it. I'm assuming it's always had the execute, right, with its low health.
So Primordial Burst originally, like I said before, he was an anti-AP mid lane mage, and that sounds fucking weird. Basically, he was built to counter your high AP mid laners. So with his old passive, he would take 20%. Did it say he stole 20%?
Steals.
Yeah, he stole. So they lose 20% AP. He gains it. And then his ultimate used to execute based on the enemy's AP. So
okay, I remember that. I remember that.
This was back in the days where you could still have mirror matchups. So if you had another Veigar on the other side, you could, if he had a shit
like
ton of AP, I mean, you could blow him up almost 100 to 0.
See, I remember that now. That's a pretty
fucking
good.
disgusting.
This is a pretty good quality of life. I can't remember when they did that, but it's so much better because again, if you're not going against a fucking AP heavy champion,
right,
you're not gonna do jack shit.
It took him out of being a niche pick champion into being a more well-rounded champion just by changing that without changing his passive. You know what I mean? That you didn't have to change his passive. You could keep his passive for a while, and I don't remember what order they did it in, but just changing this to be an execute based on health and not on how much AP they had, which would render you absolutely useless into a Zed, which Veigar kind of already is absolutely useless into a Zed, but it would render you useless into any of those mid lane assassins that were AD based. And I mean, even through the release of Yasuo and stuff like that, your mid lane fighters, Veigar was essentially useless if he couldn't get the cage down. He didn't have damage to finish them off, so it was really just throw the cage and drop a W on them and try to farm their stacks, you know. But even then, he just didn't have the damage that he had against AP, so it was a useless pick.
All right, best Veigar skin. Get one.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go through them. I will say, I like White Mage because it's a throwback, but it's not his best skin.
You want to say it? Ryan was trying to mouth it. Her favorite one is. Go ahead.
Is it Baron von Veigar?
Santa.
Oh, that one's pretty good. What is
Santa
it called?
Veigar is
Bad
Santa
Veigar.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle Kydola. I'm pretty sure.
I think he spams that skin.
Yeah. Oh, he's Saint Chris. Shout out.
Oh, Monster Tamer's the new one that's coming out. That's pretty cool looking. My favorite's Veigar Greybeard.
Yeah, Gandalf. It's got to be.
Leprechaun's pretty good. He's got a lot of decent ones, but I like Gandalf. Gandalf Veigar.
I mean, Final Boss is pretty good.
Final Boss is cool. I prefer Elderwood over Final Boss, and I have both, but I think Elderwood just looks way more sick. Final Boss is too just for me. Omega Squad's okay. It's probably one of my least favorite skins on him. He doesn't really have anything funny to say like Teemo, you know. But he does have some good like as bad as the quality is of his audio, like his voice is fucking horrid. He has some good quotes. I mean, over there, what's his joke?
Looking at it right now.
There's
joke.
one that go
What's
ahead.
black and blue and is about to show you the definition of pain.
That one's decent. Where's the one I'm thinking of? It is.
I'm also a fan of champions that laugh when they use an ability.
Right. Oh, there it is. It's one of his movement quotes where he says, "It's only a short way." Is that a short joke? That one's a good one. And yeah, it's just funny. He looks like and kind of sounds like this little cute dude. And he's got oh yeah, I am evil. Stop laughing. Like it just thinks that people are making fun of him all the time, and I think that's
a little Yordle. That's why
he is old. Is he officially a Yordle?
Pretty sure he's a Yordle.
I mean, I think he is. I don't know if he's. I wasn't sure if he was officially one or not.
What else would he be?
I don't know.
Pretty sure he's a Yordle.
You're probably right.
They have a class like.
Usually it shows. I didn't realize that Final Boss Veigar had some quotes that were similar from other games.
Oh yeah, I mean it is a legendary.
Right. Chrono Trigger quotes, Diablo quotes, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, does he say
Final
over
Fantasy.
9,000?
Yes, my power is over 9,000.
I think I've heard. Okay, yeah.
Like, this isn't even my final form. Let's see. Final Fantasy's got a lot of them in here. Obviously, it's based off of fucking VB, so you had to throw that in here. Mortal Kombat. I didn't know he said toasty. Toasty! That's a good one. StarCraft, he's got a Kerrigan quote. Wow, I didn't know that. Star Fox. He's got Star Wolf. I can't let you do that. And Sector Y Boss. Oh, I remember that one. You cocky little freaks. Street Fighter's got a lot of Bison quotes. Okay. Classic. Legend of Zelda. He's got Navi quotes. Hey, listen. Got a Ganondorf quote. That fits perfectly. Let's see. Portal quotes. He's actually got a lot in here. That's pretty cool. I didn't know he has X-Men quotes too. Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty fucking.
Yeah, that's BioShock, Destroy All Humans. Wow, he's got a lot. I'd never even noticed that because I really don't play that skin because I don't care for the particle effects.
He straight up says, "You have fallen into my trap," which is Yu-Gi-Oh. That's pretty good.
He says I'm invincible from GoldenEye. Okay.
Wow, best skin now?
Maybe. Best quotes. At the very least. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the particle effects. The arcade particle effects actually kind of bother me because they're all so fucking loud and annoying. I just generally don't care for them.
I wonder if they
Ezreal's
look how they look with the chroma. I haven't used the chroma, mythic chroma.
Oh yeah, you
Man.
might be onto something.
I'll have to try it out, see how it is. Might make it better.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something about the like the Ezreal one in particular drives me fucking nuts, dude. It drives me nuts. Because Ezreal Qs so much, you just hear pew. I'm like, I don't need to hear the Galaga noise every fucking time he fires a mythic shot, you know.
Mm.
But yeah, you know what? I forgot I just got the chroma too, so I'll have to see if it's any different next time I play the old Veigar. But other than that, unless you have anything you want to add to Veigar, I mean, high damage champion, infinite scaling, late game AF, and he's actually surprisingly not that good on ARAM just because they nerf his damage and they buff how much damage he takes. So he's even squishier and deals less damage. So that's just something to throw out there too.
Yeah, I don't got anything else, so let's take a quick break and we'll get on to Kassadin.
Yep.
All right, Kassadin.
Kassadin, your dedicated AP assassin.
Is he even an assassin? Would you really call him an assassin?
I mean,
I know it says it right here.
But right. He's classed as an assassin. He's like okay, they classed him originally as assassin / mage. I think it still fits.
It's like he can be built like remember the old like Rise fucking like Rise could build like Frozen Heart and shit and all that like nonsense.
Tank Rise, right?
Like you could do that shit on Kassadin. It's just another champion that scales with mana, right? I think his ult scales with mana, and you have at level 16, just like Kale. You basically should be able to auto win the game if this motherfucker. Let me see. Let's go straight to his ult because I want to see what is the cooldown at level 16. 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Without any haste, because you know you're gonna be stacking hella haste with this dude.
Right.
Especially if you build Crown of the Shattered Queen, you're gonna be that much tankier. You're gonna have that much health. Seraph's Embrace, that's a shit ton of.
Yep.
Wonder if even Fimble Winter would be good. You get the shield with his slow on his E.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just tanky as shit.
Right.
Oh yeah, let's see.
He's pretty gross. He's so I think this champion takes a higher skill cap to play than Kale does. Knowing when you can or can't go in, or when you should or shouldn't be stacking your ulti. But if you're even half decent at this champion, he's pretty disgusting.
But yeah, not much has changed. I think all his abilities are basically the same. Maybe some numbers have been tweaked over the years. Pretty straightforward dude. I mean,
yeah.
Good into mages. He takes magic damage. He has a magic shield. He has an interrupt, which I still I don't know. Should just be a fucking silence. What's the difference between a disrupt and a silence?
So a silence would disrupt you if you were casting something that has a cast time. So the way I always think of it is Karthus ulti. You have that little bar that's charging. If he Qs Karthus while he's ultiing, that shit goes on cooldown without going off.
Right. So then what's the difference with that and a silence?
A silence won't allow you to cast any ability. So a silence will disrupt also. But a silence sticks around for usually a second or two, and you can't cast any abilities after that either. The disrupt just stops that ability, but you could go and cast anything else if you wanted to.
Yeah,
it's a weaker silence. The problem with the silence was it was so fucking disgusting because you couldn't actually get away from Kassadin either. Like, yeah, he's got Rift Walk, and you might have a champion that's got a dash, and you have flash, but if he silences you, you can't dash, you can't flash, you're getting F to the B, and it's just ridiculously not fair, so they had to take some power out of the kit on that. But
He needs to change his voice lines. Still says silence.
yes. Well, I think they kept that because there's just a kind of a callback. Oh, here, if you click on details, it says the disrupt is wrapped into a status effect that says the target is silenced for quarter second, but does not actually silence. It, however, makes sure that the disrupt is prevented by immunity to silences.
That's so. Why is that even?
I don't know. I like it. Fuck it.
It
If the
says
target
silence.
becomes untargetable, dies, or is too far away, or no longer in sight during the cast time, its ability will cancel, but does not go on cooldown, nor pay its cost. That's good to know.
It says silence, but they're not silenced.
Pretty much.
That's really confusing to new players.
It is.
I think.
It's totally confusing to new players. Absolutely confusing.
All his abilities are the same, man.
Yeah, they haven't changed, and part of it's because he needs those in his kit to even survive the game, right? Like, he's a melee mage, so he needs a range attack. That's why they give him Null Sphere, and that's why it's the first skill you max, because it's very easy to abuse Kassadin as a champion. Probably, I would say, up until level 11, really. I mean, he gets strong, but once he gets that level 2 ulti, then he becomes a different monster. And then, obviously, once he gets level 3 ulti, he's just broken. But up until those points, he can be very easy to bully out and just annihilate, because his mana pool's trash. It costs a lot of mana for him to Rift Walk early. So they need to give him something. A Q kind of becomes a farming tool.
Yeah.
But I did mention he was designed as an anti-mage assassin, which, like I said, is a direct counter to Veigar. For a couple of reasons. One, the passive of him reduces 10% magic damage taken. Also, he gets to be ghosted, which means he gets to walk through units without unit collision, which is actually pretty nasty. He doesn't get the move speed, but to be able to walk through units early on in the game is actually pretty important. You just run through your units and their units to go kill somebody if you needed to, or to run away. You don't have to run around the minions like other champions, right? Let's see. Oh, and then the Q, after you use it, you get a magic shield for a second and a half. So that's like a burst protection, right? Let's see, what else I think that's anti-mage. I think those are the only two big. I mean, obviously the disrupt. I think those are the only two anti-mage things. Oh, the force pulse was designed for not necessarily mages, but casters. The way that this ability works, it's got a passive and an active. The passive is that Kassadin gains a stack of void energy each time he or a nearby champion uses an ability, which stacks up to 6 times. The active is when he's at full stacks, Kassadin emits a pulse of void energy in a cone in the target direction that deals magic damage to enemies and slows them for a second. Now, at max rank, the slow is 90%. It's fucking gnarly. With an 85% AP ratio. Like, that shit hurts, and he can't quite cast it all the time. But, yeah, that thing is nuts.
I mean, I guess maybe the biggest thing they've changed is splash art.
Yeah, he needed it, dude. His original splash art was fucking hideous.
But is this better?
I don't know. He still needs better splash art.
Like Zerg.
That's that.
I mean,
Why does he not have a battle boss skin, really, though? I mean, because he looks just like fucking Zerg, like you said. What's the best Kassadin skin, though?
Oh man, I don't think any of them. Cosmic Reaver, I guess.
Cosmic Reaver is probably the most popular. That one's pretty sick.
Bless you.
I don't see many people play Count Kassadin, but I like that one. I like the idea of it. I think it's cool. But I'm always stuck on my favorite. It's either Deep One or Pre-Void.
Pre-Void's cool. I think they need to
They did jazz it up a little bit.
revamp it, yeah.
And I've not seen anybody play Shockblade or Hextech Kassadin, so I have no idea what those in-game models look like.
Count Kassadin's.
Apparently Hexeg has new animations, new recall, and visual and sound effects. I had no idea. Obviously, we all know his best quote. He's only got a few quotes. He's got the pick quote, the ban quote, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movement and attack quotes, 1 taunt, 1 joke, and 3 laughs. But his best quote is just silence. Beyond that, I mean, I don't really know what else to say over Kassadin.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot to talk about with him. I mean, kind of expect this would be short. Oh, the thing I didn't mention about Kassadin being a direct counter to Veigar as well is the fact that he can just ulti away from the cage.
Yeah, blink.
And it's just like, okay, I'll go over here now and then kick your ass. And Veigar's going to have a really, really, really hard time trapping Kassadin in that thing at any point in the game unless he's out of mana. And even then, he probably has flash, so good fucking luck, dude.
Yeah, I think that's it though. Looking at next week, got Gangplank and Tarek, and those are going to be some pretty sizable.
Ooh, yeah,
both
those
of them
are
got full-on reworks.
Yeah, massive changes. So that's going to be fun.
Suggestions for a poll? Do you think? How about for a poll? I mean, it doesn't have to do with Veigar, but what's a more deadly? Like, who do you think would be more deadly to have on your team? A level like 16 Kale or a level 16 Kassadin?
Okay, I'm down with that.
I mean, and of course, like items equalize Mega Fed. I don't know what's more discussed.
Level 16, pretty much full build. Sure.
Let us.
And then I was gonna say for a question, I'm just curious to know what your guys' favorite skin is of each of the champions.
Simple enough. I like it.
It's simple, but it's elegant.
It'll work.
It works because Veigar's got like 5,000 fucking skins.
Yeah.
And Kassadin's just got like 6.
Yeah, let us know, guys. We'll be back on Monday. So enjoy your weekend and good luck in your games.
Yep. Have a good one. Be safe, guys.